Should you buy a Harley-Davidson? Stay tuned, folks. Should you buy a Harley-Davidson? We have had a lot of people ask that question. Should I buy a Harley-Davidson? Well, we're going to give you our opinion and hopes that it will help you make that decision.
You should buy a Harley if you're looking for a bike that has a...
Has what?
I mean, let's face it, Harleys have a signature sound. If you're looking for just the beauty of the bike. And everybody has their own taste. You want American made. Yes, I know a lot of it's not, and there's also Indian. If you want a motorcycle that's fun to ride, has character. Two, also, if you're thinking of the passenger, some of the, with any bike, some of them are made for a solo rider, some are made for comfort. And we've sat on about all of them. The Harley's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, under touring bikes?
Yeah. If you're riding 20 minutes up the east, it's not going to matter. But if you're planning on taking a trip, which we do, I kind of want comfort.
I guess you need to look at it and decide what are you really wanting.
Right. What's important to you.
Right.
Because then, you're going to have to get something within your budget. But if you're like, okay, look, this bike has my top 3 things that I want. If you're wanting a community. Harley, what other bike has like the Hulk chapter? You know what I mean? You don't hear about Yamaha chapters.
Right.
Also the apparel. No matter what is going on with Harley, if you want something different, you can have it. A lot of other bikes do not have it. You have the option that came in stock, and that's it.
Right. I mean, yeah, we know some people that ride some Japanese bikes, and trying to find an accessory or something, it's
Well, too, even when we had the Yamaha, you could barely find a Yamaha shirt.
Right.
You go in a Harley, good thing. You could be in there for 2 hours picking out what shirt you want.
Yeah, there's unlimited
resources,
accessories, clothing. If you're wanting to buy something,
if you want to wear with pride the shirt, the bike you have, you can do that with Harley. Most other companies you can't do. You can't sell them with Indians.
Yeah,
Indians coming out with them.
They are. They're starting to grow and get a little more of that, which is going to take time.
Right.
If you're looking for a bike that no one else has, Harley's probably not it. Yeah, this is one of the more fun motorcycles that I've ridden. This one, our last one, this is a 2020 Road Glide Limited. And
it's comfy.
It is. And they do have a feel that it's just something when you're riding them, they just, I don't know, something about them. They have a feel to them that other motorcycles don't have.
You feel the bike.
There's a ton of suspension options out there for these bikes too. So if you don't feel like the stock suspension is adequate enough, or you get a lot of other things for it.
Well, too, because we ride 2 up and travel. You have some weight on it.
It's not bad. It's decent.
It's not bad at all.
It handles pretty good 2 up. Not great. If you really start pushing it, you can feel it moving around slightly in the corners. We've had several people ask in comments, different videos, hey, I'm thinking about getting this bike. What would you recommend? Would you recommend getting a Harley? A lot of different questions. Here's one that's come up, is reliability. And I've covered it, and this is a lot of people, have different opinions on this. In my opinion, if you're looking at a Japanese motorcycle, they are probably more dependable. They probably don't have quite as many issues. And I'm not saying that the engine's going to quit on you. I'm just saying in general. Granted, bikes have problems. You can find problems with any manufacturer. But from what I've seen, and this is being honest, you know, people want to argue this that have Harley-Davidsons, and they want to say that they're just as dependable, that they don't have any more issues. I mean, this is my opinion. I'm not going to try to back this up with facts. You can take it for what you want. But from what I've seen, there are more problems with Harley-Davidson. But I knew that going in. And I'm willing to accept that. And that should speak volumes. Because there are people know that. Whether they want to admit it or not, people know that. But it should speak volumes for you that they bought a Harley-Davidson anyways. Now, granted, there's probably tons of people that have had Harleys and have not had any issues, but we've had issues with both of our bikes. We know somebody else that has a couple new ones. They've had issues with some things. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, for people to argue that they're just as dependable, I don't buy it. I don't know. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but this is my opinion. This is a video on whether somebody should purchase a Harley-Davidson. Yeah, they should have all the information, and this is the information I'm going to give. If I was to buy another motorcycle today, there's probably a good chance I would buy a Harley-Davidson. I just enjoy riding them, and like Mrs. Den mentioned earlier, you can get anything you want for them. It's out there. I mean, pretty much if you can think of it, somebody's making it.
Well, too, say if you do travel and something's wrong, which has happened to us, it's not hard to find a dealership.
No.
And they were very good for us. We live in Ohio, went all the way to Colorado, and they got us right in and back on the road in 15 hours.
Yeah, we did not have to wait. They got us in immediately.
They knew we were traveling. You know what I mean? They knew we needed to get Mack. They knew we were on vacation. They were like, okay, we got it. Get it in. They got it in. They even washed the pipe.
I have heard...
It was filthy.
It was filthy. I have heard, because we rode in a ton of rain, but I have heard story after story like that. And granted, I've heard some where people, they won't help them that way. But most of the time, I have heard that dealers will step up. If you're traveling on a trip and you own a Harley-Davidson and you're at a Harley dealer, usually they'll step up and do what they can for you. Fortunately, the part we needed, they had in stock and was able to replace it. So we were there 4 hours, I think.
Yeah. Which
was a long time, but it could have been a lot longer.
Yeah.
You know, it's something to think about. If you travel though, I mean, granted, that never crossed my mind on the Japanese bikes we've had while we were traveling. I never thought really about, well, is there going to be dealerships in case we break down? We never had an issue with them. We never had to get anything fixed on a trip with our Japanese motorcycles.
Seems like with Harleys too, there's a lot more paint.
Well, I don't...
Seems like
I don't know. No, not really.
We never took the Japanese bike and like,
well, because I always did it. But here's another thing to think about. It brings up another topic, which I'm glad you mentioned that. We usually take our bikes in for service. And granted, I know you can do your own service, and if you keep good records, your bike will be okay under warranty. Things will be covered. But that's not to say that Harley's not going to fight you on it, because I have heard of that happening, and it's not cheap. I mean, I don't know what people pay, but it's about $400, $500 for a service around here. So look into that if you don't do your own services, or you don't plan on. We take them to the dealer for the first why it's in warranty. After that, I'm going to do my own probably. I mean, that's a ton of money for something that I can do myself. It just seems like more probably on the Harley because we're taking it in, you know, I mean, then you got to deal with making the appointment, going and getting the bike, dropping it off, and going back and picking it up. Or if you do it yourself, it's at home, you know, you buy the stuff, you do it, and you're done. I guess I kind of answered the question, should you buy a Harley-Davidson? If reliability is an issue, I would see if there's something else, man, it's beautiful through here, that fits the bill for you. But I will say, now, reliability is a concern with me because we do travel on a lot of trips. And I bought another Harley-Davidson. It's the chance I'm willing to take. Granted, if I get stranded somewhere, am I going to be happy? No, I'm not. I'm not going to be happy about it. Who would? But it's the chance I'm willing to take because I love riding it. You know, you hear people, we have a video about people bashing Harleys, and I think it'll be out before this one. You know, and talking about, you know, how they're not reliable and the technology's old and they need to get up to date, this and that. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. There absolutely is room for improvement. But do they make a good motorcycle? I think they do. They do a lot of things knowing that you're probably going to buy aftermarket or an accessory from Harley to upgrade this or improve that, the looks of that. They know that stuff. They study. But like Mrs. Den mentioned, there's anything you want out there, you can get it. We usually never do this, but the dealerships at Harley offer a lot of different options when you buy your bike. Like, I don't know if they always do it, but if you get accessories, like within 30 days of purchasing your bike, they're warranted, like the entire warranty period, the 2 years. Harley does have a 2-year warranty. Japanese motorcycles are 1 year. I don't know about Triumph, Moto Guzzi, and some of the others, but I mean it's twice as long. And granted, people, you know, do they need it? That's why they do it. Maybe, but it's good to know that you have 2 years, and they offer extended warranties, and there's other plans that you can buy, other companies that sell extended warranties for Harleys. They have maintenance plans you can get. You know, they have bike nights. That goes into the culture aspect of it. They always are having events. If you want to test ride a motorcycle, most dealers you can do it. You know, Japanese, they don't. You got to wait for the demo truck to come around for Japanese bikes. You go in and want to test ride a motorcycle to see if you like it. They pretty much want a signature that you're buying it before you test ride it. I mean, they do not want you test riding their bikes. Most of them really act pretty weird. I mean, I don't want to say weird. I understand they got to pay for them and they don't want anything happening to them. But it is different. There's a lot of benefits for buying and owning a Harley-Davidson. But Harley just brought out the Pan Am bike, and yeah, they're getting into adventure bikes, yeah. So I haven't really kept up on it too much, but I think Bronco Ride just bought one, I think. I haven't watched that video yet, but guys, if you're thinking about buying a Harley-Davidson, I would go for it. I would say yes, buy it. I'm happy with ours. We love it. We enjoy riding it. There's just something about it. We've ridden most other brands of motorcycles, and my opinion, nothing really compares.
Too, there's nothing wrong with getting something else and working toward getting kind of the bike you always wanted.
Oh, absolutely. We've heard a
Yeah,
lot
I mean,
of people.
because it's good to ride.
But there's a lot of good used ones out there. So don't be afraid to look for a used one. But we will talk to you guys later, and we thank you for watching, guys. See ya.